Task 3, assignment task 3, case study and presentation, 20 marks. Sarah is required to plan and present a logistics report to the board by answering several of the questions they have posed below. Sarah's proposal might consider a range of route options and strategies for the fast delivery and reverse logistics efforts, considering that most important export shipments for rotating spares shipments are done out of North America and Europe. This happens to be where the strategic vendors, Super Turbines and North Star Aircraft Limited operates. So a well thought out plan must be presented. Incoterms and transport modes would also be assessed. The issue of FlySafe Global Caterers has become a logistics and distribution challenge for the board, so they are looking forward to workable solutions. The following must be addressed in a PowerPoint presentation or PowerPoint only presentation. Note that higher marks will be awarded for content where students are able to draw from real life examples. All right, so the first part of your presentation should highlight or should give an overview of the case. So in your first slide, you may want to have an overview of the case, right? And then you move on from there. Why is reverse logistics an important supply chain function to the airline industry? All right, so your second slide or maybe third may want to discuss something like this. So in the airline industry, you find rotable spares, right? And those rotable spares are sent abroad to repair and they return into the supply chain of the organization, right? All airlines do it. So from those major spares like landing gear, etc. So those spares go out of the organization, gets repaired and returns. So that's reverse logistics there. Now, why is it important? You can investigate and determine why, but I can say this. Without reverse logistics, planes will not fly, right? You need reverse logistics for rotable spares, right? Spares carry a shelf life. They carry a shelf life, and or I should say they attract flying hours, right? So a spare part can last for many years once you keep recertifying it or repairing the spare, right? So without reverse logistics in the airline industry, all right, the entire operation will be compromised, right? Provide examples where the function is applied within the sector or other sectors, highlighting the successes and challenges faced. Well, this is an opportunity for you to talk about reverse logistics in other sectors other than the airline industry, like Apple, which we did mention briefly. Even Amazon practice reverse logistics. When Amazon ships an item to you and the item is not the right size or shape or whatever, you return it, and then Amazon will send you the correct one, at least if they do have it in stock, right? So that is an example. And you can also seek out examples where in aviation we see reverse logistics, right? How would Sarah improve reverse logistics at FlySafe? So currently the operation is, well, take note that these companies are in the Middle East. FlySafe is in the Middle East. Food for the Skies, all of them, they are in the Middle East. And the major spare parts providers, they are in Europe. So Middle East to Europe, on average, and let's say in 9 hours, it's pretty far. Sometimes 6 hours, depending on where you are, right? But you end up with lead time there, right? So how to improve reverse logistics at FlySafe? So you all need to come up with ideas. Come up with some ideas, some innovative options to reduce that lead time, all right? To reduce that lead time between getting these spares out of the Middle East to Europe and getting them back in, right? Think about it. Present in summary form workable solutions to address delays that might be linked to the location of the key suppliers mentioned above. Yeah, you should do that as well. How would Sarah go about addressing the current Incoterm issue? Note that in the case, the company FlySafe, right? The main company, parent company, if you want to call it, FlySafe currently has an FCA arrangement with the two major providers, right? And they have indicated that they are no longer interested in that arrangement, right? So if you're familiar with FCA, that particular Incoterm, the supplier would get involved. The supplier will prepare the goods for shipment and get it to the nearest carrier, right? So how are you going to address that issue? Sarah needs to address it. You'll Sarah, right? So please justify your solution. Justify it, right? Please justify your solution. Why did you opt for that particular solution? Would Sarah consider another Incoterm? Tell us. Or would you consider another Incoterm? Or should you? That's all up to you. So there's no right or wrong answer per se, right? It's, these questions are very open, right? Once you give your reason or reasons for the answers given. And now we move on to the other point. With the catering subsidiary being accused of having an unsuitable location hub, right? Remember this subsidiary, FlySafe Global Caterers, right? So with the catering subsidiary being accused of having an unsuitable location hub, currently it's in Dubai, do you think such a reason is justified? Give reasons for answer given. So is it justified to say that the location hub is not suitable, right? Or are there other reasons that might be affecting the very location of the hub, right? Because there are delays in getting some of their customers are complaining about delays in getting their food and so on, their catering services on time, all right? If Sarah had chosen to relocate existing Dubai hub, right, as the first solution in addressing the delays to customers, where would she likely locate it to, right? So y'all are pretending to be Sarah. Where would Sarah likely to remove the hub to? Is it Oman? Is it India? I don't know. And why? Why might you opt for that particular location? And finally, what factors might Sarah consider? Or what factors should Sarah consider before she plans a relocation? If you're relocating a hub, right, in your supply chain, what must you consider? All right. So in answering the PowerPoint presentation, I have some tips. Many a time students give heavy narrative. A presentation should not be like that. A presentation is all about the presenter. So be very brief in your notes. You can have nice pictures and so on and photos, and be brief. Let your narrative be very brief. Some short bullet points will do. And even though I say this, students still, they have so much, they have paragraphs and so on. No need for that, right? Because you will get trapped. You will try to read everything, right? What you need to do is present the slides and talk around the slides. Don't try to read everything. We are seeing what is there. No need to read for your audience everything in detail. A good idea might be to highlight the operation strategy of the firm first before you mention the challenges. Okay, if you want, you can do that. Feel free to include videos, but let me mention this, a short caveat. Don't use videos. Videos tend to give problems, right? So don't bother with that. Use bullet points, as I mentioned. Keep it short. Keep it short. Photos can also be used to tell a story or help explain a point. There's a saying, a picture tells 1,000 words, right? So do that. No more than, well, in this case, okay, no more than 5 students per group. Sometimes it might be 6, right? Every group member must participate. I repeat, every group member must participate. Groups must be given names, right? We did give you all names. So how would it work? So today, well, I'll tell you this, for this presentation, this time around, we are going to use Zoom. So we will, a Zoom link will be shared, of course, sorry. And then each student will do a short part of the presentation, right? So you have approximately 10 minutes. Well, not approximately, you have 10 minutes, right? So that 10 minutes has to be shared among you all, right? So that's how we will do it on the particular day or days. All right, so this is our marking scheme here. 20 marks. 5 points for the quality of your PowerPoint presentation, 5 points for content, 5 points for your presentation skills or the presentation skills of each individual in the group or the group itself, 5 points for your interaction during the question and answers, right? I will be asking all the questions and that will be for 5 minutes, right? So again, I'm warning you all a caveat as well. Again, if your slides includes extensive content, then you are likely to go over your time limit. It is recommended to stay with bullet points, short points, and give an overview of them. Sometimes it might not be required to detail everything or every line or everything line by line, right? So that is what I just reiterating what I told you all earlier, all right? The PowerPoint presentation must be done in PowerPoint. Yes, not PDF. Please don't. And there's no real need to upload it in LMS, right? That it's stated there, but it's not really required. So don't worry too much about that. Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. I hope this conversation helps.